Diddy trial resumes, ex-assistant Capricorn Clark talks Suge Knight, 50 Cent, threats. Proceedings in Diddy's federal sex trafficking and racketeering trial in NYC resumed Tuesday after a Monday holiday break. The defense and prosecution teams sparred over previous testimony before the jury was seated. Diddy's one-time assistant Capricorn Clark took the stand first and was asked about physical threats from her former boss and about being accused of stealing from the disgraced rap mogul. Clark was asked where she grew up, and she talked about working for Def Jam Records before moving to Death Row Records, and was asked by the prosecution about its former chief, Suge Knight. Knight is the father of a friend's child, Clark said. Clark detailed the variety of jobs she performed for Diddy's organization, including being in charge of the women's division at Sean Jean, a clothing company. Clark was asked about her first day working for Diddy, in 2004. She said Diddy took her to Central Park, along with someone named Uncle Paulie, who was built like a linebacker, she described. Clark testified Diddy told her that since she'd worked for Suge Knight, if anything happened, he might have to kill her, prompting an objection from the defense. Judge Arun Subramanian overruled. Clark told the jury she took the statement seriously, saying, "It had gravitas." Last week, another of Diddy's former assistants testified about an incident involving Knight, claiming Diddy gathered some guns and went looking for him during a visit in LA. Knight talked to TMZ about the incident, saying it likely would have escalated into violence had they run into each other on the night in question. Clark said she witnessed Diddy in possession of a gun at her house. She testified he talked about having a problem with rapper 50 Cent. She also talked about being accused of stealing jewelry while working for Diddy. Clark said she was questioned for hours about it by Uncle Paulie and taken up to the 6th floor of a dilapidated place. She says the door was locked behind her, and a heavy-set man was sitting at a folding table. She described two men the size of linebackers, and said they told her she was there to take a lie detector test. Clark said she was told if she failed the polygraph, they would throw her in the East River. That prompted a defense objection and a sidebar with the judge. Clark said the lie detector test ordeal lasted 5 days, as they returned to the same location again and again. She said she was not free to leave during these interrogations. She said she was allowed to return to work after that. When asked why she didn't leave the company, Clark said, "If I left, they'd think I stole." She also said she got about 4 hours of sleep a night and was paid $55,000 per year, and never got paid overtime. She was asked about Diddy's hotel stays, and said he took cameras and small bottles of baby oil and lube in a bag every time. Last week, another assistant also talked about Diddy being preoccupied with employees stealing from him and testified about polygraph tests. Judge Subramanian discussed testimony from an investigator and a key witness from last week surrounding the events of Scott Mescudi, aka as rapper Kid Cudi, whose Porsche was destroyed in his driveway by a Molotov cocktail back in 2012. Prosecutors objected to an investigator's report. Defense says DNA evidence from the arson scene was consistent with a female. Prosecutors say the DNA issue could mislead the jury.